life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, that helps futures lose by.
All right, everybody. Hi, this is Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist, a guy who shares because I care. I really do care. And that's why I share. I am on a mission and have been on a mission to helping people live their best and healthiest life. In the next 6 months, I will actually hit 30 years of being in the space of helping people lose weight and learn how to keep the weight off and improve health, like all levels of health. And over the years, it's been great, right? We've helped thousands of people reverse type 2 diabetes, thousands of people get off many different types of medications, thousands of people, right, that improve their health, their quality of health, and they're living their best and healthiest life. Now, I've also come across a lot of people who get in their own way, and unfortunately, they're not successful. And some of them are no longer even living. But the thing, all of these people that I've come in contact with, whether they were successful or not, whether they're older or younger, all are challenged with inflammation. And when I say inflammation, we're talking about inflammation that leads to type 2 diabetes, inflammation that plays a huge role in why a person ends up with insulin resistance, inflammation that shows up and plays a role in having high blood pressure, various types of arthritis, swelling, bloating, and the list goes on. And if you really think about it, more people are living with inflammation today than ever. I remember not too long ago talking to one of my clients. Well, when I say not too long ago, like 15 years ago. And she said, well, hey, I'm going to go see my doctor, get some lab work. Is there anything I should also look at getting tested? And I remember saying a C-reactive protein, which is a marker that hasn't always been a recommended marker by doctors. Today it is, it's standardized. But when I was encouraging people, it wasn't even part of the standard routine. And now it is. And we're going to talk about something today that is soon going to be standardized. It has to be. I don't know if it's going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but the day will come. But it's all going to come about as people become more informed and aware. Because I would be willing to bet, unless you are a client of mine or you work with one of the coaches that are part of our organization, I would be willing to bet that you never, ever, ever get a test called an omega-3 test or a balance test, which would identify key markers that would help you not only know what your level of potential inflammation is, but will help you begin the process to reversing it and then putting yourself in a position where you have better skin, better nails, better eyesight, better heart health, better longevity, reducing inflammation throughout the body. So I wrote an article, and the article you can go in the description area, and I'm going to use this article that you can read, and I even made it where you can print it out. But I'm going to use that as an outline to kind of walk you through step by step. And I don't want to miss anything. So I'm literally going to use the article that I've made available to anyone who watches this, clicks on the link, and you'll have it, and you can read it, share it with other people. But I wanted to touch on one part of inflammation called arachidonic acid. So you're going to become really knowledgeable of that. Now, before I get there, read all the information, because joining me, I have one of our coaches. She's a nutritionist, health and weight loss coach, Susie Lopez. And Susie and I tend to do these lives together at least once a week is the goal. And Susie's great because she's on a mission to help people. And I wanted to kind of walk through this with the goal of you guys learning and having more clarity about information. And I think having Susie doing it with me will be great. So without further delay, or they say ado, I think that's what the word is. Let's bring on Susie. What's up, Susie?
Hi, Robert. How's it going?
It is going. So
All
thank
right.
you for making time to go over this with me.
Yes.
This is going to be fun.
It is.
Because, and I don't know if you saw, but I did a post on Facebook. I like to do this just to kind of see what people are aware of, what they know, what they don't know. And I asked people, like, do you know, like, what inflammation is, what causes it, etc. And it was amazing, all the different answers, Susie, because people talk about it so much and are living with inflammation at a certain level that you would think everyone would know exactly what it is, but they don't. And in order for people to know what it is or to reverse it, we need to know what it is, how it happens, and then we can do something about it instead of just going on some other medication or keeping a general conversation with your doctor. They say inflammation, but they're not going into any kind of detail. But we're going to do that today so that everyone's in a position where they can do something about their situation.
Sounds great. I can't wait. I can't wait to go over it.
So to get the ball rolling, I have a little video clip I want to play. And in this video clip, you guys, is going to bring clarity, and Susie and I will talk about it, on the difference between acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. Because in my question about acute and chronic inflammation, the answers were all over the place. And you know how some people are, they'll quickly Google. But this is something that we all would benefit from understanding, right? I mean, because acute pain is different than chronic pain. So I'll let the video kind of wrap it up. And it also highlights very quickly in this short video what ailments or health conditions, metabolic conditions, are easily tied to chronic inflammation and acute. But the focus is on chronic. And, you know, before I even play it, one lady posted a question. It was a great question. She says, could you have both? And I would say, yeah. At one time you could, but it's a moment in time. Right. Because it's acute and then it can become chronic.
Yes.
So I think of acute as short-term, chronic, long-term.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But let's not take my word for it. Let's watch the video. Okay, that is the wrong video, Susie. I can't believe you had me play that one. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Inflammation is often confused with acute inflammation, so we are going to help break down the differences. Acute inflammation is a short-lived response to an injury or an infection, like having a cold. Symptoms of acute inflammation include redness, pain, swelling, heat, loss of function. Chronic inflammation.
I think we lost your audio.
Okay, boy, I'm having some technical challenges over here. Okay, I just wanted to stop it just for a second because, and let's just talk about, so everybody has clarity. When I burned my finger the other day and it swelled up and got red, that was acute inflammation.
Yes.
When your kid falls and scrapes their knee, that's acute inflammation. And what we're going to talk about, arachidonic acid, actually, there's some pros to it, right? This fatty acid will actually help get circulation and get blood and help bring down the inflammation when you have that acute inflammation. So there's benefits to it, but there's also some negatives, and that's when we get into the chronic side. Anything else you want to add to acute?
I would just say it's needed. It's a needed response from our body for healing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now let's just bring clarity to chronic inflammation.
Function. Chronic inflammation, unlike acute inflammation, lasts months or even years. Symptoms of chronic inflammation include body pain, joint pain, and muscle pain, chronic fatigue and insomnia, depression and anxiety, gastrointestinal complications like constipation, diarrhea, and acid reflux, weight gain or weight loss.
I just want to pause for a quick second. A lot of people are dealing with that, aren't they?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Many people are dealing with that.
Okay, man, there's quite a few people dealing with some chronic inflammation in the body. It's quite interesting.
Yep.
So let me finish it.
Frequent infections. Common causes of chronic inflammation include a poor diet, smoking, excess alcohol, obesity, lack of exercise, or exposure to toxins, allergens, and infections, all of which are often never completely cleared. Due to these causes, your body stays in a state of chronic inflammation, which is damaging to your health. Left unchecked, chronic inflammation leads to heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even cancer. MD Lifespan's longevity experts know how to test for chronic inflammation and how to stop this silent killer so that you can live a longer, happier, and healthier life. Click the link below to speak with a patient service advisor today.
Wow. So I believe anyone who's catching us having this conversation live or the replay would want to know what we're about to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because as you notice, we can say we can check it, but everyone who is hearing us, there's a way where you can check your level of inflammation as it pertains to arachidonic acid. You can do it at home in the privacy of your home. So I have a little slideshow to kind of help us stay on path. So we know that acute inflammation, you get a cut, sprain your ankle, bacterial infection, acute because it's going to be short term.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic inflammation like arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, and all the other ones that we've mentioned is part of chronic inflammation. Now, we know it's real and we know people are living with it, but many people are living with it and they don't have to live with it. And many people are living with it and they don't even know what their recourse is. Like, how can I turn things around? And our goal is to make that easy for people because we actually have a way where you can test and we have a product that you can use that is proven. That's very important that we say proven.
Yes.
To improve your situation. That means reduce your inflammation. So that's the part. So at the end of the day, guys, just reach out to me, reach out to Susie. If you don't have time to listen or you don't even care, you just want the solution or a solution, then reach out to us and we'll give you that. But if you have the time, let us kind of walk you through this. Okay. So arachidonic acid, which we're going to talk a lot about, is a polyunsaturated omega-6 oil. And it plays a critical role in physiological processes, of course, including inflammation, brain function, muscle growth, and it's essential for survival. So if you don't have or consume enough omega-6 or omega-3, then that means you could die.
Yep.
So
essential.
So it's essential.
Yes.
Now, when you look at acute, as I just mentioned, the cause could be really simple, but the take home is acute is short term, you guys. Sprained ankle, bacteria infection, etc. Reminder, chronic inflammation leads to a lot of conditions many of you are living with, and it doesn't just go away. Arachidonic acid, and not to make this a scientific moment in time, but it's things that you consume on a regular basis, and it's in a lot of foods that we consume. The problem shows up is when you consume too much of it, which is a growing problem that we have in the actually around the world. So I'm saying United States, Canada, Mexico, big time here, but all over the world, people are just falling prey to having too much omega-6 in their body and not enough omega-3 in their body. And that's when we're out of balance. And when you're out of balance, inflammation is just a big part of a lot of the challenges that people have.
Right.
So I'm gonna stop there. So what type of questions at this point would you begin to have, Susie, if you know, if you're thinking of one of your clients sitting at home, they're like, okay, I get acute, I get what chronic inflammation is now, right? Chronic and acute inflammation. Chronic is something that pertains to me. Maybe they live with diabetes, or maybe they have high blood pressure, or maybe they just feel the discomfort in their joints, or they just feel inflamed. What is coming to mind for you, Susie, if you're thinking about a client, and what would you want to learn now?
I would want to know if I'm experiencing some of these challenges, I would want to know, okay, well, where are my levels at? Because if this is how it works, then something is off. And you just kind of, briefly talked about arachidonic acid. And I know that's needed, but then too much of it, right? So I would want to know what my levels are at for this.
Okay, see, you want to go straight for the jugular, which is great.
Okay.
And the test that we're going to show you guys is it's called a balance test. You can do it at home. It's the lab that does the testing. They don't steal anything from you. It's anonymous. It's the world's #1 laboratory for the kind of testing that we're talking about. And you literally prick your finger at home, doesn't hurt. Put the blood on a little thing, then put it in the mail. It goes all the way to Norway, and in 10 to 20 business days, you get your results. Now, one of the things in your results looks something like this. Now, there's 2 results here. So this is one of my clients. His name is Paul. Paul, I was talking to him. He feels inflamed. We did his numbers. So originally, his before numbers were 19-1. The 19 is for omega-6, which includes arachidonic acid, and the 1 is omega-3. And when you take the product that we recommend, it's a combination of polyphenols and omega-3, very close to nature. It does have some vitamin D in it to help with the absorption rate or the bioavailability of it. And then 4 months later, which is the life of a red blood cell, the cell membrane, you get another test. And so as you can see here, his ratios went from 19-1, which anything that's 3-1 or higher would not be good. It would be in the danger zone. As you can see here, after 4 months, this gentleman, Paul, is 2.8-1. He's no longer in the danger zone. So that's major progress. He didn't change anything with his nutrition. He didn't do any extra exercise. All he did was use the balance oil. He took it every day. And 4 months later, as you can see, his numbers are good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a huge change.
Okay.
Improvement.
Everyone, kids, adults, everyone benefits from this. Everyone. So saying that, when you get the article, you'll see that we have the pros of arachidonic acid in the article. And then under that, we have the cons. So I don't want to miss it. So I have it right here. Number 1, when you have too much arachidonic acid, that excess, you didn't have that inflammation, or you have excessive inflammation as a result of too much arachidonic acid, which then leads to chronic inflammation. And that contributes to conditions like arthritis, cardiovascular disease, certain cancers. This is not good. And again, your doctor's not even testing you for it.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Could I get this test through my doctors?
You could get it, but what happens with the doctor, Susie, and I know you know this.
Yeah.
What happens is they'll do a test, but it'll be a blood draw. So they're doing a serum test. And when it's a serum test, that's primarily impacted by what you ate the day before and what you ate leading up to that moment. That's not the test that we want. We want to be looking at your red blood cell, like your cell membrane, right? Because your cell membrane is very, very important. So this test literally looks at that, which is similar to a hemoglobin A1C test, where they can look at the cells for like the last 3 to 4 months and then give you real clarity on what the sugar levels are in the cell. So it's the exact same thing. And you do it at home.
Right.
Mental health is impacted by this as well. Think of all the people who are walking around and they forgot their high school sweetheart's name, or they forgot like where they put the keys. You know what I mean? Like cognitive function, you know, which if you notice, even in that short video, it talked about the relationship between inflammation and Alzheimer's or dementia. Okay. Now, where you guys are getting a lot of this omega-6, this arachidonic acid, is from consuming a lot of seed oils. So if you went and looked at your mayonnaise right now, probably the first ingredient is soybean oil, which is a seed oil. You buy some chips, sun chips, and you look inside the ingredients and you're seeing sunflower and safflower oil, which is a seed oil, which will have the arachidonic acid as well as linoleic acid that is a primary cause for disrupting our health on a cellular level. And it's everywhere, right, Susie?
Yes, it's everywhere. It's in everything. Salad dressings, frozen foods, snacks. I mean, it's the drinks. I mean, it's in everything. So we just start looking at the ingredients. We're gonna see that we're consuming it. We're consuming it excessively because
Excessively. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to show you guys what the test looks like. Part of the test, right? Because at the end of the day, we all want to get tested. So when I came across this company and learned that I could actually make these tests available to my clients, I was just blown away because it gives us concrete opportunity to show people where they are with the baseline. And then they start using the product. And then we find out when they get a free test to see if the product is working. And we see that it's working. Again, it's anonymous. Nobody knows. Your name is not on anything. And the data comes in and you can see. So a snapshot of what it looks like. Okay. Here's Paul. So remember, Paul, his before and after was here. So we know that the product helped him. Right.
Yes.
But when he first took the test, this is all he got.
And his arachidonic acid was really high. Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, can you see that? Pretty
I can see it. Yep.
You got good eyesight? What does that say?
It says 13.3%.
Okay, so 13.3%, which is high.
Yes.
That's not good. Okay. And as you can see, he's in the red everywhere. So he got his balance of omega-6 to 3. He's 19-1. Remember, we want that to be 3-1 or lower. So right there, he's got too much omega-6 in his body.
Mm-hmm.
And then under that to the left, it gives you your percentage of omega-3, which that should be 8%, 8 to 12%. And he's low. What does it say there, Susie?
3.9%.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody can see. Okay, so that's his omega percent. So you want to know this. Everybody deserves to know this. It's your right. It is your health, your medical right to know this. Then after that, you have mental strength. So 50% of your brain is made up of fat. And what we've known is that when people are consuming an inadequate amount of omega-3, Susie, the brain is not as big. And we know that with a bigger brain, people have better cognitive function. People have higher IQs. Like so many things are better when the brain is bigger. And we know that when you don't have an adequate amount of omega-3, DHA in the brain, then you're going to have a smaller brain.
Yep. Yeah.
So people, you know, and you're going to have a whole bunch of other challenges, right? Cognitive function, brain fog. So you can see that with the mental strength. And then next to that, you got cell membrane fluidity. Tell them about that, Susie.
So cell membrane fluidity is how flexible the walls of your cells are, how fluid they are. And we definitely don't want them to be stiff or rigid. We want them to be fluid because when they're fluid, that means that nutrients can easily enter in and toxins can easily leave the cell. So we definitely want those cell walls to be able to move and be flexible.
Amen. And right there, when you see numbers like this, that's a sign, right, that we have restricted stiff cells.
Right.
So on a cellular level, things are off. And it's funny, I was talking to a physical therapist the other day, Susie, and they fell in love with the tests as well as the oil, the product. And what they fell in love with was because they're always encouraging cellular health. And they're big on understanding the mitochondria, which is the battery that operates all of our cells, right? And in that battery, you have ATP, which plays a huge role on what your energy levels are. So think about all the people who are saying, man, I want to work out, but I'm just too tired. You know, I was thinking about doing this, but I just didn't have the energy. Man, I had to like get some, I was just tired. Well, it could be from drinking a lot of alcohol, right? Because that can contribute toward inflammation. Consuming too many seed oils, which contributes toward inflammation and creates this disruption on a cellular level.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now you have cells that aren't easily bringing in the nutrients that will help the mitochondria. And then you have a buildup of waste that is having a hard time leaving the cell because the cell membrane is rigid.
So the cells are sick,
They're
essentially.
sick. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they continue to,
Yeah.
and they get sicker. That's why it's not just about being older or aging. It's about you've had 6 cells and you're 45. You haven't done anything to fix it. Now you're 50, the cells are sicker. Now you're 55 and it just slowly compounds. Weight gain starts to happen, don't feel as good. You go to the doctor and they're treating the effects, and they've never, ever sat down and said, we should do a test to see what your balance ratio is with omega-6 to 3. So then you're only chasing the effects. You're never fixing anything.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And then to the right of that, we have arachidonic acid, which is what we're focusing on today. And then above that, you have this protective value. Now, the protective value to me is pretty scary, right? He's at 0%, and you want that to be at 90% or higher. So in meeting him, he's inflamed. Weight loss is difficult. I mean, he's really challenged. He has no protection value, right? So what we know through data and multiple studies all over the world is that when you are insufficient when it comes to omega-3, you have increased risk of all-cause mortality, increased risk of heart attack, increased risk of stroke. It's almost like we're playing a game of life and they gave us the wrong rule book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I think about it like that, it's just so sad because all of this stuff is preventable. It's, we can do something about it. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you don't, and we were talking about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I was sharing with you when they would do biopsies of fat cells. Before 1960, the average fat cell would have, let's say, little less than 10% of the fat in the fat cell would be made up of omega-6, linoleic acid, which is a partner or cousin of arachidonic acid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody's over 20% when they do a biopsy of a fat cell. And babies who are on formula, and you look at the ingredients in formula, you'll see soybean oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, all omega-6. Well, babies now, when they do the biopsy of their fat cells, the fat cell percentage is over 40% of the oil we don't want more of. So little kids are off to a start. They don't even got a chance.
Yeah, off to a horrible start. Absolutely.
And again, think about it. Like I was just with I had a lunch meeting with a very smart, wise lady, has lupus. She's dealing with, doctor just put on her statin, I don't know, about 7 years ago. She's got like some skin conditions because of the lupus. And I'm sitting there looking at her, Susie, knowing that this woman needs the balance oil.
Right.
So I gave her a test, and then I'll follow up with it. So I just gave her a test. I was like, you know what? Just do the test. If you promise me you'll do the test, I'll explain everything to you when the test results come back. So as long as she does the test, she's going to get something like this.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to explain it to her, and then I'm going to get her on the product, and then like my man Paul, this was his follow-up.
Much better. Yeah, much
Right?
better.
So you can see his, and now we can assume he's 100% with his protective value. He's over the 8% when it comes to his omega levels, which helped put him in the green. Everything now is in the yellow. And look at his arachidonic acid. It came down.
Yes. Another question that I would have looking at this is, can I just go find an omega-3 supplement? Because let's say I don't really want to eat fish, right? Like salmon or tuna, where I couldn't get it naturally. Couldn't I just get another omega-3 supplement and get these kind of results that you're showing me here?
No. And I know you know the answer, but thank you for the question. Okay, listen, everyone. Listen. You may be taking an omega. Okay, let's get a little closer. Because
Okay.
I want everyone, I want you guys to win.
Yes.
I really want everybody to win. If you go out and just buy any omega or fish oil, there are multiple studies, even there's a Cochrane report on this, that proves that most fish oils and most omega-3 products that you're buying over the counter do not work. You're taking it, you hope it's working, but you don't have to hope something works. You can do a test. All you got to do is test. And for those of you who are thin and you don't have any weight to lose, but yet you believe you're health conscious, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's actually, you're doing yourself an injustice not to at least get the test. And then, of course, once you get the test, it's going to make sense that you start using the product.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes this product so unique compared to all the other ones is that it is fused with both omega-3 oils from wild fish
Mm-hmm.
and polyphenols that they get from unripe olives. Fused together, you got 40% polyphenols, 60% omega-3. And then they add some other things to it, like vitamin D to help with absorption. And people who take this product for 4 months, their numbers are so much better, it's mind-blowing. And when you look at just the arachidonic acid, and I don't know if everybody can see this, but there is the before and there's the after. So the goal is going downward to the left. So look how close he is to being in the green. So we know that either this month or next month, he's going to be in the green, 100% across the board, which is a physical marker, a biological marker that says, I'm actually improving my health. All his numbers are good. You can't improve your numbers if you don't know what you need to improve.
Exactly. Just like when you go into the doctors and they say, your blood sugar is elevated, your cholesterol's up, your blood pressure's up, things like that. And how would we know, to improve if we don't, if they wouldn't be checking for those kinds of things? Well, they're not checking for this, right? So that's why we have the problem that we have, because we don't know we're walking around inflamed. We're not looking at what we're looking at here, what you're showing us, Robert. So.
Well, the fun part of the conversation could eventually be when you talk about why doctors aren't checking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
We could definitely go there too. Well, I mean, I have one example, a real life example, with my dad. This was back in March of this year, and before he started taking the balance oil. But he was starting to experience dry eyes quite often. And we actually had our wedding. Our niece was getting married, and we were going to be driving up to Northern California, near Fresno area. I'm in Southern California. And we woke up that morning, ready to get on the road. And he said, you know what? I don't think I can go. I don't think I can drive. I can't see. He said everything was cloudy. He started panicking. I said, well, you know what? The best thing that we can do is go get you checked out. Maybe the doctor will, give you some type of medication, something that's going to help you. So we went in, you know, last minute, and the doctor said that the eye drops he was using was actually not doing anything. It wasn't helping him, and she recommended that he do like a jelly type of lubricant for his eyes. And so we did. We got him that, and they did help. But he had to put these in every single day, and that went on for weeks. I got him tested. We did the balance test. I got him on the balance oil, and within about a month and a half, 2 months time, you know, we had the conversation, you know, how are your eyes? Like, what's going on? He's like, you know, I haven't had to use any type of eye drops for some time now. I said, really? So within about a month and a half or so, he didn't need any of that. His eyes were healthy again. He could see, everything was good. But why didn't the doctor say, hey, have you ever tried supplementing with omega-3? Like, that conversation didn't come up at all. And that's the kind of mind-blowing stuff that I think you're trying to talk about, Robert, is why aren't these conversations happening in the doctor's offices when we know that omega-3 can significantly improve eye health?
Nope. I trust me. I mean, like I'm reading like in the article, and this is the last time I'm going to refer to this. And there's also 15 references, you guys, in the article. So I took the time to do that. But excess arachidonic acid, which we're talking about right now, when they're too high, this is what all the studies are clear on. And it means your doctors should be aware of this.
Right.
The body's inflammatory processes can be overactive. And that can show up for a whole bunch of reasons. It can lead to chronic inflammation, contributing to long-term health problems, sometimes irreversible. And when I say health problems, we're also talking about metabolic syndrome. Before the term metabolic syndrome was put in place, it was called insulin resistance syndrome. So elevated insulin. We know that when you have the polyphenols with the omega-3 oils, it makes you more insulin sensitive, which basically is saying it helps reverse insulin resistance. And look at all the people who have metabolic challenges. I mean, Tufts University did a study not long ago and said that only 7% of the adult population is completely fit, meaning 93% of the adult population has some challenge with their health, some chronic condition. It could be high blood pressure, high triglycerides. It could be extended waistline, right? So all of these negatives. And before that, 4 years before that, when they did a study, and I think it was North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and they said 88%. So in 5 years, we basically got worse another 5%. And now we're at 93% of people are living with some type of chronic illness, to include inflammation. Mind-blowing to me. And arachidonic acid, which you can get through ultra processed foods, of course, seed oils, and you can also get it from eating a lot of meat. And I'm not against meat. It depends on the kind of meat, right? It depends on, I think you said the other day, we need to start focusing more on what we're going to eat as a protein source, like meat, cows, pork, chickens. What did they feed them before we end up eating them?
What did they eat before we ate them?
Exactly. Yes. Because that's why you have so much more arachidonic acid,
right,
in these animals that we're eating. But if you were getting grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, right, eating, wild salmon instead of the yummy farm-raised salmon, all of those things play a big role in what your levels will be. So there's a lot that you can do to improve your levels that we've shared, but I don't see anyone coming into balance unless they're eating fish every day, some type of fish that has a good amount of omega-3, and some days twice a day. And most people aren't going to do that. A lot of people don't eat fish. Some people are allergic to fish.
And some people don't eat meat, right? Like vegans, they won't eat the fish. And so that's another one too. We do have a vegan version of the balance oil.
Yes. So we have a vegan. We got a tutti frutti for kids. I mean, it is the supplement like this is where I am with it. Okay.
Right.
If I talk to a doctor, or if I talk to a nutritionist, or if I talk to a personal trainer or a healthcare worker, if I talk to anyone who is in the business of wellness, and I share with them the omega-6 to 3 ratio, which you would think they would know something about, but if they didn't, which is fine, once they're informed and they don't make this part of their routine for how they help their clientele, I think that person is a total I have no respect for them as a professional. That's how much I believe like in what we're doing with this product and the testing. Like if someone is a network marketer and let's say that they sell makeup, but then they learn about this product and they never share this product with people, I don't need to know those kind of people. Yeah. Because they're a big part of the problem. Like even when I introduced it to you, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if you got to the point where you had, nah, not for me. Like, not for you. I go, wait a minute. Like, do you understand the importance of the ratio between omega-6 and 3?
Right.
And if you said, yeah, I do, then I would say, well, how can you say yes and not make this a big part of how you help people?
Right. Yep.
I mean, even push back on me. I mean, Susie, push back on me. Like, okay. I'm serious. Like, I would love someone to like help me understand, because they would say, well, I'm going to promote another omega, or there's another fish oil. There's a company I want to sell there. Okay. I would say, great. I'm glad that you see the value in it. Now, are you going to do the test also?
Yeah.
Exactly. They go, nah, we don't really need the test. I go, okay, well, let's do this one more time, because you obviously aren't getting what I'm saying, right? Because I could, my mom was taking her omega every day for 4 years, and when we did the test, we quickly found out that she had been wasting her money.
Right.
Now, you can lead a horse to water. I get it, and you can't make him drink. But I also know that if you feed that horse enough salt, he will drink that water. Meaning, the analogy is that the pain gets to a certain point, mm-hmm. then people will then open their eyes and do something different.
They'll be open to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But going back to this one, right? So if you look right there, what, 13.3 arachidonic acid, then you see it drop down. So he's on his way to the green. That's a winner.
Yeah.
That is a winner. And then this is what the product looks like, you guys. So I'm just giving you information. You can make a decision later. But you get a test. It looks like this. It retails for as much as $170. The balanced oil is $42 a month. That's it. And the first month, you get the balanced oil with the test for only $109, and then you pay $42 a month after that for a product that is based on a test, a legit test, and then you know if it's working or not. And let me just say this, and then I would love your thoughts. If you're taking a vitamin C supplement, mm-hmm. how do you know it's working?
Right.
If you're taking a vitamin B1 supplement, how do you know it's working? Well, if you had beriberi, which is a symptom of being deficient in, vitamin B1, that means you can't walk, you can't stand, right? We don't see that in America. We don't see people dying and cramping and lying on the ground because they are deficient in vitamin C. We were starting to see more people who are deficient in vitamin D. Mm-hmm. And then 6-7 years ago, doctors started testing for it because they started saying this is more like
deficiency.
It's like it's a pandemic, basically. Yeah. Right? Epidemic, because all these people are deficient in vitamin D3. And when you look at the symptoms of vitamin D3, it's very similar to, omega-3. But someone's saying, I'm tired all the time, I'm a little fatigued. They check, and then they can see with the test that you do not have enough vitamin D. So then the quick solution is start taking vitamin D. So when I was talking to that lady this morning, she's like, I'm doing 5,000 IUs every day, and now I'm no longer deficient in vitamin. I said, well, this works the exact same way. When you're deficient in vitamin D3, we know what the solution is. When you don't have enough omega-3, we know what the solution is. And we have the product. And everybody can contact me, contact Susie, and we can get you going. Is that simple?
Absolutely.
So, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. I think everybody has a better understanding now. If you're living with chronic inflammation, there's something you can do about it.
Yes. Well, thank you, Robert. This was great. And, when I read the article, I kind of got an idea, trying to understand arachidonic acid. I kind of got an idea of kind of the Goldilocks, scenario where too little, too much, just right. And that's something that we can see through the test. Like, where are we with all of this? So thank you for writing that. Thank you for, giving us all this information today. It was great. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And everybody, just keep in mind, like when you get the test, arachidonic acid was what we talked about today. We touched on these a little bit, but arachidonic acid plays a huge role in why you're walking around inflamed. You have too much of it in your cells, and it turns out to be a major contributor for why you have chronic inflammation. Yep. So the goal is to reduce that. And if you got upset or mad about this because your doctor never explained it to you, I would be mad.
Yeah.
Now you can wait until you talk to your doctor and see how they can help you out. I'm telling you right now, a large majority of the time, that's a waste of time. Now, if you like your doctor and you want to share with them what you're doing, because maybe the doctor would be interested in, like, for themselves, because a lot of doctors are living with inflammation and they're chasing the effects of it, and they're not going to the cause, right? Because so Susie, give me, if a person has low levels of omega-3, which 99% of people have low levels, I'm challenging you. What are 5 symptoms of having low levels of omega-3?
I'm sorry, I lost you for like 2 seconds. Can you say the question again?
So my question to you is, give me 5 symptoms that are symptoms of someone who's low on omega-3.
Yeah, I would say eye health if you're experiencing dry eyes.
Okay, so dry
eye, skin. If you feel like your skin is maybe dry or flaky, just not that healthy, because that was me. One of the biggest improvements I saw was in my skin. The other one I would say, if you're constantly fatigued, that could be a sign that you're low on omega-3. My energy levels went up, and I know a lot of people that say the same. I would say joint pain. I have so many stories of people that, my mom, I don't know if we have time for this, but my mom.
We got time, go for it.
My mom has rheumatoid arthritis, and she was on a very popular omega-3 supplement prior to balance oil. And I tested her. Her ratio was way off. Her index was low, not where she needs to be. And then she started the balance oil. Within 2 months of taking the balance oil, she went from, always in pain, always feeling that stiffness, not really being able to just do like daily activities, to this woman is like completely different. My mom's story is amazing. I'm always sharing it because someone with rheumatoid is constantly in pain and very limited in their mobility. And my mom is not like that at all anymore. Within a couple of months, and she doesn't take medications anymore. She was taking pain meds for to manage pain, the rheumatoid arthritis pain. So I would say if you have joint pain, stiffness, that's another sign that you're low on omega-3. Did I give you 5? I don't remember if I
Give me one more. Let's give everybody a
one
bonus.
more. I would say mental clarity. Mental clarity. You know, if you feel like you're always walking around with brain fog, that's another sign too.
Yeah. High blood pressure, high
Yep.
triglycerides, um, um, brittle nails, various skin conditions, which you mentioned your skin is better, but you
Yes.
didn't mention the name of
Oh,
the
the
condition.
condition? The
Yeah.
condition, yeah. Yeah, so the condition that I, have had struggled with since my early teens was, keratosis pilaris. It's also, known as chicken skin, and it's just really like, little bumps on your skin. It could be anywhere on your body, mostly like on your arms. That's where I had it, and, within a couple of months, I saw significant improvement. Like, I have very little of it left now. My kids also have it, it's hereditary, and their skin has significantly improved taking the balance oil. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it's just like story after story. If I would have known, because I have to be honest, I really didn't fully understand the significance, the importance of an adequate intake of omega-3 prior to this year. I mean, if I would have known, I think I would have done something a lot sooner, Robert. But this, like, knowing that we can test, knowing that we can supplement with a product like balance oil, it's changed our lives, and it's changing people's lives. So I'm always excited to talk about it.
No, I'm with you, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where, guys, for those of you who are listening, if you haven't got the test and the oil yet, do not put this off. Like, seriously, this is not a set. We're not doing an infomercial. Now, the only way we're going to get it out there is to tell people about it. So
Right.
we're doing that, but this is not just about selling you. This is about like helping you. And I know for a fact, without question, that you don't have enough omega-3 in your body.
Right.
And anyone that's got inflammation, living with gout, people walking around with lupus and challenged with irritable bowel syndrome, anything that touches on inflammation, we have something that can help you. There's nothing else to say. And it's affordable.
It's very affordable.
But what I have noticed, Susie, is that some people, I mean, you could give them everything that would help them, and they won't do it.
Why do you think that is?
It goes back to the dog, as Frank shared, and I've talked about the story of the dog that's lying on a nail on the porch,
Mm-hmm.
right next to his owner, moaning, crying, and people walk by all the time. And they go, man, I wonder why that dog is moaning. Like, what's going on? And then eventually someone will ask. And when they ask the man, hey, why is your dog like moaning? It seems like he's in a lot of pain. And the man says, oh, he's lying on a nail. They go, what? Why don't he just get off the nail? He goes, yeah, that's what I've been wondering. Because that's what people will just stay in pain. And for some reason, they believe that what's going to help them is going to come from their doctor. And they know inside of them, and this is not a dig on every doctor, but most doctors are not customizing the help for that person. They're just following a protocol. And so they don't go to the root cause. Again, it just becomes common to chase the effects. Everybody will benefit. So then I would say, okay, well, because somebody could say, all right, Robert, if everybody, like, what's the urgency? I mean, we're just now, hearing this, and there's people that they never had it, they never took this product. I go, you're right. So here's what I share with people when this comes up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who, like, you could live a big part of your life never getting this balance oil and never even doing a test. But if we look at the quality of your life, I guarantee you that you had a whole bunch of little conditions that didn't completely get reversed, and they just slowly got worse. So at 50, it was one way. At 58, it's a little bit more challenging. At 60 something, it's a little bit more challenging. Then other things start showing up. Then other meds you got to take. Like, I really believe that in the last couple years, 3 years, at least 10 of my friends who have died from heart attack with the sleep, blood clot died. I will bet you they were all deficient in omega-3. And I bet you, this is how much I believe in it, some of them would still be alive if they were in balance with omega-6 to 3.
Yeah.
And the data, the evidence is clear. Now, we'll never know. And some people who will hear us do this call, some of them will die. They will die in their sleep. They will die, have a heart attack. Something negative is going to happen. And if they were to do an autopsy on them, they're going to be deficient in omega-3. And their balance is going to be way off. And then every person who dies from Alzheimer's, which is the fastest growing reason for or cause of death, every person they do an autopsy on, they're deficient in omega-3, DHA in the brain. Every person right now, every doctor should be sharing this. Like everybody who has Alzheimer's, they're all deficient in omega-3. So if you don't want Alzheimer's or dementia, at least don't be deficient in omega-3. And if you're not deficient, exactly, neuroscientists say you reduce your risk of Alzheimer's by 50%. And still somebody will watch us talk about this and they will do nothing. Now, some people are going to do something. They're going to reach out to me and we're going to get them taken care of. But yes, a lot of people will do nothing, Susie.
Yeah. Man, it's like you want to think, how can I say it a different way, right? How can I, so you understand the importance, like you say, help me help you understand. So yeah.
You know what? Next time we do a live and we start talking, I'm going to play that one moment with Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cuba Gooding, when Tom Cruise looks at him, he goes, "Help me, help you." Yes. Help me, help
How
you.
can I do this differently so that I can help you?
Lord, I want to help you. And then you have a product where you have a test. So it's not even, I think it's going to help, or you're probably going to feel better. How you feeling? No, we have a test.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Any last words, Susie?
No, I just want to thank you for having me on here. And anybody who's interested, I do want to give a quick shout out to a couple of my clients this week. Guys, I love what I do. I love that I can teach the Diet Free Life methodology to my clients, and they're getting results every week. One lady that I just started working with, she's into week 3 working with me, and she's on her way to 15 pounds. She was 10 pounds down last time we checked, and she was just like, when we're on the phone, she was like emotional. She's like, I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and you're a blessing to me. And so it's like, that's the kind of stories I want to create more and more. So reach out to me, because I know that what we do works. So my info is on the page, so just reach out to me.
All right, I love that. You know what, let me give actually I'm gonna give one shout out to one of my clients. Her name is Melissa B, and we have great calls because we talk politics the whole time. And it's great. I love talking to her, and she's a great client. And she was just sharing with me that her goal is 50 pounds. She's down 43 pounds. So she's got 7 to go. And she's not in her 20s or 30s. So to lose 40 and keep it off, as I've been coaching her, she woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm ready to go from 150 to 140. And I was like, wow. And I asked her, I said, so where's this coming from? Because, I saw the 3-pound drop. And she goes, because I'm working on running. I'm going to run a 5K. And of course, I shared with people my current goal is running. And it's interesting when you set up that goal and it's performance-based, right? So let's say you have someone that can't run 3 miles without stopping. If they start working on that as their goal, and let's say in 4 months they want to run 3 miles without stopping,
Mm-hmm.
because they're working on improving their performance, it's not about the weight. As long as you're working on improving the performance, and the same thing happened with Claudia when she talked about losing her 243 pounds. Remember, she said when she went to that track and the pain and discomfort she experienced walking around that track, it took 37 minutes.
Right.
And by the time she was done with that track, she was doing the same walk in less than 15 minutes. So that's performance. So if you start going, all right, I'm going to run this faster, or I'm going to jump higher, or I'm going to, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you go after performance, you eat a certain way if you want to perform. Like, I want to have a drink, alcohol, and I could, but then I can't run as fast as I need to run tomorrow to stay on pace to reach my goal.
Right.
So I'm not drinking. I could order pizza tonight, and you'll hear people who run and exercise, they carb load. Yeah, but I know that if I'm 10 pounds lighter than I am now, but I keep my strength, I'll run faster. You follow me?
Yes.
So I'm not trying to lose weight, but the fat has to come off because of I'm constantly improving my performance.
Yes.
So now every Monday, one of the someone in our group, when I posted my goal, she was like, hey, I like that goal, or however she said it. And I said, you know what? Every Monday, I said, join me. So now every Monday, we're going to have a Get Her Done live.
Nice. Okay.
And it's all about setting goals and achieving goals.
Okay.
And it could be how much you can squat. Like my daughter wants to squat 185 pounds. Can you squat 185 pounds?
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Well, my daughter can, she's 17.
Yeah.
She's 115 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and she can squat 185 pounds.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
I'm like, wow. And she's not the one that competes. She just, that's her goal. She wants to be able to do that. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So I actually went to the gym with her, 24-hour fitness, on Saturday for the first time. And I want to do the step mill because that's my go-to. So now I'm gonna start going to the gym with both of my daughters. And that's going to be interesting. And it's so cool to watch them just walk around and do their thing and have that independence. So you have that to look forward to. Your little girl is going to be an older teenager, and she's going to be doing those kind of things with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make sure she can't outrun you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want my young one, Faith, she can run fast. And I'm like, when track season starts, trust me, when I hit my goal January 1st with my 3-mile goal, it puts me in a position also for track. Because, I want to be out there, and, some of these little boys start thinking they can, hey, so your dad runs? I go, yeah. I said, I'll race you. They go, and then they're going to laugh, right? Because I'll be the old man. But I'm going to say, let's do a 400. That's one time around the track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I learned, right, being an athlete my whole life, is that when I was 17, 16, 18, it felt like death when you ran a 400 meter.
Yes.
You start off great for the first 100, and then your heart gets involved. And then you find out if you're a man or not, like really fast. And you think you're going to die. Well, as you get older, I can handle more pain.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So
I can go into the run knowing that the pain is going to come, and I know what my threshold is. So I'm going to push through it, and I know they're going to fall.
Mm.
Now, that's running against a kid who's good at like maybe 40 meters or like 100 meters, because you got some kids in high school that can run a good 400. I'm not talking about challenging them.
Yeah.
I'm talking about challenging someone in fitness, but out of where their comfort zone is.
Makes sense.
Anyway, I know that's probably boring, but you can tell. I mean, I can't wait.
You're in it. You're in it right now, for sure.
I can't wait. I can't wait. January 1st. I know I'll be there. So
All right.
Anyway,
I know you will too, Robert. I know you will too.
all right. And then you can let us know what your goal is going to be, Susie.
All right. Okay. Challenge me too.
Yeah, I mean, come up with a goal. Like maybe you want to bench a certain amount of weight. Maybe you want to squat. Maybe you want to be able to do so many lunges without stop. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
No, that makes sense.
like find something where you got to improve your performance. And in order to improve your performance, you got to be consistent with the training and you got to have really good nutrition.
Right.
Right. And you know both. And I guarantee you, you'll break through any plateaus that you have.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right, you guys. Well, if you want to contact Susie, her information is below. My information is below. There's a whole bunch of links there. The article is there. So click on the article. You can print it out and have it. And now you have a better understanding of arachidonic acid and you have a better understanding of inflammation in the body and what you can do about it. Last word, Susie, before we say goodbye.
That's it. I think I said it all and we've said it all. So
okay. You guys got it. Thank you. We appreciate you. Please share this, like this, comment, let other people know about it. And until the next one.
All right.
We got to go. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Life is a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to